Warm greetings to fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Chaitanya, the Sergeant at Arms for the 692 meeting of Chennai Wordsmiths. For the benefit of guests, let me tell you, this is a public speaking community, and this community was Dr. Ralph C. Smedley in October 1924, Santa Ana, California. The mission of this club is to provide a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their public speaking skills that results in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The mission, Toastmasters International works on 4 pillars of values, namely integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Here are some codes of conduct for the meeting before we go. Members who come forth, please refrain from speaking on sex, religion, and politics. Please put yourself on mute when you're not speaking, as it might distract the speaker. Also, please put mobile in switch off or silent mode during the course of the meeting. Members are requested to come in professional attire. And if you are stepping out of the meeting, please turn off the video, just to not distract the speaker. For all Toastmasters meetings are started and ended by one person called the presiding officer. And today's presiding officer is an energetic rock star who knows to code as well as to manage people efficiently, either be it at his workplace or even inside Toastmasters. Please join me in welcoming the President, cool captain of Wordsmiths, Toastmaster Chidambaran. Over to you, Chidambaran.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Chaitanya. Welcome all the members of Wordsmiths and guests for this meeting number 692. I hereby take the opportunity to declare the meeting 692 formally open. So today I'd like to start with a very quick Zen story. One of the aspirants of the Zen ideology wanted to learn it, and he went to a Zen master and said, "Please teach me how I can become best at it." The question immediately that was shot back by the master was, "Did you have your breakfast or the rice porridge that they serve for the day?" And he was thinking and said, "Yes, I did." Then the master asked, "Did you wash your bowl after that? You better do that." At that moment, the student was thinking, okay, what did I ask and what are the set of questions that I'm getting? And the more he thought about it, he got the enlightening that it is not about the grand things and such huge things which make a wall of difference, but it is the basic things that we do with the dedication and discipline continuously that makes a sea of difference. So fellow Toastmasters, I just thought that this is something that we practice every week, right? It is not that the basic principles of our Toastmasters, when we inculcate and practice it every week diligently, we become better at this art, and that is what we are all aiming for. So with that story, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the guests. We have 2 guests, Sheikh, Amina, and Manikantan. Okay. Yeah, I see 2 guests. So as a practice, I would like the guests to give a quick introduction of themselves, talk about their, a quick intro of where they come from and what is that they know about Toastmasters and what is their expectations from this session. Can I request Manikantan and Sheikh Amina to introduce themselves in order?
Yeah. Hi, I am Manikantan.
Hi, Manikantan. Yeah, we are able to see.
Yeah. And I'm working as a sales professional in the IT vertical. And I'm in Annanagar. And I heard about a Toastmasters from one of my friends who is in Vellore, who is a Rotrack International member. So from that only I came able to know that the Toastmaster is for the networking as well as how we can able to build the communication as well. That's it.
Welcome, Manikandan.
Yeah, thank you.
Sheikh Amina, would you like to go next?
Good evening. My name is Amina, and I just finished my 12th grade, and I'm starting college this month, 15th November. I'm actually joining Madras Medical College, and I got to know about Toastmaster from my father, and he insisted me on joining this so I can improve my public speaking.
Welcome, Amina.
Thank you.
Congratulations on joining MMC.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so good. So with that, so we'll get into.
Sir, good morning. Sir, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We have one more guest.
Yeah. Good evening to all.
Sorry.
This is Tyagarajan. Actually, last week also I attended a Toastmaster meeting, which was conducted in direct meeting. So as I told, this is the second meeting for me. And my daughters already, they were in the under 18 Toastmaster club. So already I know about the Toastmaster structure and all. I am working in Hyundai Motor India. I want to improve my communication skill. So I have joined in, I am planning to join in Toastmaster club. So soon I will join. So thank you over to TMOD.
Thank you, Tyagarajan. Thank you. So you are getting a different flavor on the online mode this week due to the rains. So we have one more guest today, Vidya.
Hi, sir. Hello all. I am Vidya Manivannan. I work for a private sector in IT industry, and I came to know about this Toastmaster club from my company. I mean, in my company they have their own club, but I have not attended, not even a single class. I just wanted to attend and want to understand what is going on, and I wanted to check what are all the possibilities to improve my communication skills.
Welcome, Vidya. Okay, I think we have two more guests joining in, so we'll get their introductions as well. Guest Sendil Kumar, are you on? Yeah.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Sendil. Sendil, can you do a brief intro of yourself and what do you know about Toastmasters?
Actually, I'm doing interior design business. Actually, I'm Vidya's husband. Just now he spoke with you, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We are able to hear you.
Okay. So actually, I'm doing interior business in Chennai only, in Vadavalli.
Okay.
Actually, I'm looking for. I'm kind of I am very hesitant in speaking in public actually. So I was searching something to help me to get out of it, speaking struggles. No? So I was looking that. Vidya suggests me that we have Toastmaster nearby our residence. So just want to check with how the things are going on, so we can join also.
Sure, Sandhu. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
We have Edwin Vino.
Hi.
Hi, Edwin. Can you please give a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, I'm Edwin Vino. I'm working in an organization called Dover India Private Limited. Okay. Actually, I heard about the Toastmaster just a few months back. Okay. I just thought of joining this and understand about this club. And I just want to improve my communication skills and the public speaking skills. Yeah, that's what it is.
Welcome, Edwin. Okay, so good. I think we have had all the guests introduced. Is there anybody else? Okay, good. So we have 6 guests joining us today. It's a pleasure having you here, and we have these meetings mostly in the offline mode in Ananagar, and due to the rains, this time we had to kind of choose the online mode. So looking forward to having you in the meetings, and please, just enjoy the session, and we'd like to hear your takeaways at the end of the session, and if you have any suggestions, like to incorporate it at the end. So with this, let's get into the meeting. We have for all of these meetings, we need somebody who can just make sure that all the components of this meeting are tied together and executed to the perfect plan. We have an agenda, and there needs to be somebody who makes sure that agenda is fulfilled to its full extent. So the person who does this is called the Toastmaster of the day, and today's Toastmaster of the day is Arshad Jaffrey. He's a young software engineer. He loves learning new things, reading books, meeting new people, and the values that he really believes in and would like to inculcate at each point of his life are kindness, loyalty, and fun. He always works on expanding his horizon, experiencing new things, and continuously improving himself. So I think it's a great quality, and the values that you practice, Ashar. So this is going to take you to a lot of places. So with that, I hand it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Ashar, to take through the session.
Thank you, President Chidambaram, for the warm introduction. So let's start at today's meeting. Progress is incomplete without change. To improve, one has to change. But to be perfect, one has to change often. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. Today's theme is change is inevitable. The motivation for today's theme came to me when I was reading a book during the lockdown. Now, the author of the book, he came from very humble beginnings, but he had a dream to become one of the biggest and best baseball players in America. Now, he was a smart person, he was strong, and he had all the instincts to become one of the best players in the history. But during the final game of his high school, he was hit in the head. And because of this, it resulted in a broken nose, multiple skull fractures, and finally he slipped into a coma for a long period of time. The doctors believed that he could never walk or even eat on his own. Surely his career as an athlete was over. But he went on to become one of the best college athletes in the whole country and a successful author. So how did a person whose dreams were crushed in an instant and who became an invalid went on to become a successful person both and on off the field? Before we do that, let me first move on to the first part of today's agenda, and that is the prepared speech section. But first, let me hand over the reins to our general evaluator, the powerhouse of our club, TM Jyoti Thomas.
Thank you very much. That was a beautiful, crisp introduction. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and lovely guests. As we always say, change is inevitable. We have learned to embrace, by looking at so many Toastmasters, the changes. The first change comes when we all take up different roles. Each one of us have different hats, and just imagine week after week, you see a different general evaluator, Toastmaster, and various evaluators as well. That is a change we embrace. Saying that, my role is to quickly observe the entire flow of the business meeting that we have chalked out for this afternoon. I will have 3 people who will be my partner, who will take me through this wonderful afternoon session. And they are called as the tag team. It is not easy to be a one-man army. That being said, my wonderful embracing tag team is right there here. I have with me somebody who is an English literature graduate. Her goal is simply to be a child psychologist, not simply child psychology. And simply it means change, environmental change. And Montessori is close to her heart. My timer is Reshma, Toastmaster Reshma. May I request you to kindly state your.
Yeah. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as a timer is to keep time for all the speaker to ensure that everyone speaks within the allotted time slot. This will also help me in ensure that meeting runs on time. To help me to do this, I have 3-color virtual background. Sometimes this is a small change for me because I have written that cue card. So yeah, the green card. I'll show a green card when the speaker hits the qualifying time, and I will change the yellow card when the speaker hits the target time, and I will change red background when the speaker has reached the end of the allotted time. For prepared speech, green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. For table topic, green at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. For evaluation, green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 3 minutes. Yeah, and I will be given 30 seconds of grace time, after which you might be disqualified. I will present my report when called upon by the Toastmaster of the day. And thank you.
Thank you very much. That's my first time timer. Would you just quickly like to check and see if you can share your background, the virtual background, the green, so everybody is aware of what is there? I request all of you speakers and everybody taking a role to kindly check the timer Reshma's virtual background, which will be perfect. Voila. Thank you very much.
And yellow will be this.
Perfect.
And red will be this.
And for those of you who have difficulty in viewing it, we will get somebody to either call out. Thank you very much. Tag, that was the first T as in timer. A, the R's and the ums. Very interesting. Again, a young person with us, passionate about photography. Photography is all about colors and changes in vividity. All that we are going to see is a man who has tremendous passion in playing cricket and badminton and reading books. Our young Naresh, our counter. Toastmaster, Naresh, your role, please.
Thanks for that great intro, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. Good afternoon to all the Toastmasters and the guests here. Today, I'm going to play the role of R counter. This is nothing but I'll be keep track of all the ums and unnecessary sounds throughout your speech. And I will be keeping track of some of the repetitive fillers in your speech, such as like, you know, well, and all those repetitive fillers I'll be keep tracking of. And I will be keep tracking of word of the day, how many times you are using that word of the day. I'll be keep track of all these things, and at last I will be giving my report. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the R counter, for that. Now moving on to G as in grammarian. This person very clearly for me resonates with embracing to constant change in life, always thinking out of the box, within the box. And we look at how quickly he says change is inevitable and we need to keep moving with the times. It almost runs like a laundry list, what I can tell about him. But important to quote here is, for area before, he was the PR manager, embedded engineer, a great, passionate family man who loves his wife, a little daughter, and a child to come. Now everybody's smiling. Now stop it. Passionate embedded engineer at Logitech, none other than the one who embraces change, Arun Kumar SN. Your role, please.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. Today, I'm going to be playing the role of grammarian. As a grammarian, I'll be taking notes of all the good usages and not so good usages. And when I'm called upon by the General Evaluator back again, I'll be explaining my report basically. So apart from that, I also have another duty today, which is to introduce to you the word of the day. Today's word of the day is embrace. Embrace as a verb means hold closely in one's arm, especially as a sign of affection. For example, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas embraced her warmly and welcomed her as a timer. And as a noun, it's an act of holding someone closely in one's arm and an act of accepting something willingly or enthusiastically. People in Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters today embrace the change of online meetings happily, and then they are taking part in online session. So that's all the duty that I have as as the grammarian for today. And when I'm called back again, I'll present my report. Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. That was indeed a very quick run of what it is. So in my role, as we finish the first segment and the second segment, I will come upon with my team to evaluate and display what has been observed. And I would come in later when the Toastmaster of the day calls me on to give the entire observation of this afternoon's session. With that, I would like to hand over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Ms. Jyoti Thomas. Your team has done a wonderful introduction of what roles you'll be defining, and I'm pretty sure both the Toastmasters and the audience will have a general idea of what's going to happen. So what is a prepared speech? So this is the first agenda of every Toastmaster session. In this section, we talk about a certain topic, and the main objective is to provide an effective presentation and provide a speech to inform, to persuade, and to entertain the audience. The first speaker today is our very own Toastmaster Chaitanya. He's a web developer, an acoustic musician, and a reader by passion. When asked about what his aspiration is, he said that he wants to make a difference in everyone's life in his very own circle, and he wants to become an educational coach. I asked General Evaluator Jyoti Thomas for the introduction of the speech details by the evaluator.
I would like to now very quickly and briefly talk about a family man of four. Serious, that's what he says. Change in his line of work is inevitable. He works for the oil and gas company. He is passionate, yes, and he is also very task completion oriented person. May I request the man of the voice who sings in the bathroom and back to the ballroom, Toastmaster Sashi Kumar, to read out the evaluation purposes.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Jyoti, and also TMOD. My target speaker, Toastmaster Chaitanya, is attempting level 1 project 3 from the pathway effective coaching. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the very best to Toastmaster Chaitanya. Over to you.
Thank you, Evaluator Sashi Kumar, for reading out the objectives. Hard work by Toastmaster Chaitanya.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Arshad. Ladies and gentlemen, do you believe in hard work? Yes, me too. But do you really like it? Maybe sometimes. Well, hard work is essential in the beginning of a career to learn something new. But when you gain experience on the subject, do you think it's the only thing that matters? No, it doesn't. So, well, let me narrate my experience. As a programmer, my role is to maintain a documentation for whatever feature I deliver. One day, my lead Manoj came to me and our conversation went on like this. Chaitanya, I want you to prepare a user manual for a newly launched insurance premium calculator. No, I said. Why? He frowned. Well, I'm very slow in typing and it would take me days to get that done. Dude, I see you as the best fit. So try once. Well, I realized that he's pushing me, so I obeyed and sat down to think. My mind gushed with content at the rate of 100 words per minute. But my poor fingers were able to type down only 15 words per minute. Clearly, I was losing over 85 words that could add value to my precious work. Half day passed to fill just 2 pages. while trying to recollect those 85 lost words that were gone with the wind. Well, the next day, I hated this task. My lead Manoj saw me and gave an evil grin. I decided to simplify this. I read about Microsoft's transcribe feature that came along with its product called Microsoft Word. I started recording my content as an audio file. In 20 minutes, my voice clip was ready. I uploaded my content onto the Microsoft Word software and clicked on transcribe button. 3 minutes passed. And then the end result was amazing. 90% of my speech was rendered properly as text that went on for 10 pages. Then I made few changes to tweak the document before I submitted the final version of the document to my lead Manoj. Manoj reviewed the document and he was dumbstruck. He asked then, Chaitanya, how did you manage to complete it in 2 days when you had estimated for 7 days? Abracadabra, I said. Well, he mocked. Well, I revealed the truth then later that it was a feature that was offered in Microsoft Word, and he was flattered. Later that week in the weekly meeting, he went on to say this in front of all my teammates. Chaitanya has done a remarkable job of writing documents using Microsoft's AI capability. It reduces efforts by 70%. To which my boss, Swami, replied, Chaitanya has become a smart worker now. Good for you. Well, Toastmasters, luckily I had a premium account because of that Microsoft Word that offered me the transcribe feature that reduced my efforts. So my dear Toastmasters, I realized that without working hard, one cannot become smart. Also, had I taken the traditional path of writing down the documents by typing, I wouldn't have been productive, nor my boss would have appreciated me, and I wouldn't have ended up with beaming up with pride. I embraced the change that was expected at my work, and it turned very positive for me. Similarly, I want you also to find out what are the other productive tools that AI can offer. An alternative to Microsoft Word is Google Docs, which offers the same feature in other name called speech dictation. You can try that out, and you can also become smart, like how I did. These were the things that just changed, made a huge difference in my life. And this, since change is inevitable, I adopted this practice to make my workplace better, and also the way that I work has transformed. Now people see me as a smart worker, and this is what I also encourage the fellow members in Toastmasters community also to adopt and be seen to people as a smart worker rather than just a hard worker. This will add value to ourselves, and even we will become skilled enough when we see other people. Over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chaitanya. That was a wonderful speech. From today's speech, we can all say that you have taught us how to do hard work and smart work, and at the same time, how to be innovative in ways to be lazy. The second speech will be brought to you by our very own super athlete, Mr. Toastmaster Krishna Prasad. He's a senior software professional and a very passionate badminton player. When asked about his views on what he feels about today's topic, he said that change is always inevitable. No matter how much one avoids it, we should always change. And he believes that that is one of the many reasons that we all come to Toastmasters. I request General Evaluator Jyoti Thomas to request the evaluator to discuss the project details.
The evaluator for this particular speech was the VPE of our club. And we always wonder, how can this person keep playing cricket and be a data science specialist, watching and talking and doing a lot of things, being at IIT? The evaluator for this evening who embraces brains and boldness and the bat is Toastmaster Arvind. May I request you to read out the project first?
Thank you for the generous introduction, Toastmaster Thomas. And good evening to all, and a special good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Krishna. Toastmaster Krishna is attempting the level 1 project 3. The project name is Researching and Presenting. And the purpose of this project is for a member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized and a well-researched speech on any topic. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to my target speaker, and over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. Now let's go on to the second speech, Plan to Achieve by Toastmaster Krishna Prasad.
Thank you. Hope my audio is clear.
Yes, sir, your audio is clear.
Thank you. Do we all set goals or targets? Yes. Do we, for what we set goals or targets for? And at what time?
Probably at every time in our lives where we want to achieve something, we set a goal.
Super. Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. Anyone more? Toastmaster Chaitanya? Okay. So I set the goals or objectives for myself to achieve what to achieve something in my life better. And we set it per year or quarter, etc., depending upon our progress. Do we all agree that taking an action is important than the measuring an action? Taking an action, yes. Yes, thank you. So good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Even though the change is inevitable, positive change can only happen if you take an action in a proper direction with a proper goal. I was setting my objectives every year only to refresh and understand that I have not achieved anything towards that goal. I was setting my objectives. So this particular piece of information that I'm going to share with you today will help you to achieve your objectives in through OKRs. What are OKRs? Does anyone know what are OKRs are? Okay, the OKRs are objectives and key results. Let me talk you through what used to happen previously with our companies. There is a person called Peter Drucker who has written the book called Practices of Management in 1954. In that, he mentioned that organization work towards the common goals, and those goals will be discussed prior in advance, 1 year prior in advance, with the manager reporting to him or her based on the performance at the end of the year, their bonus payment will be determined and their performance is linked to their year-end achievements, which means we are directly jumping on to the measuring rather than thinking about what actions that we are going to take. On the other hand, the OKRs are developed by John Dewar when he was working with Google, when he was working with Intel, which after some more years, when he was working with Google, he has implemented this concept called OKRs. So let us understand and dive more into this OKRs. So the management by objectives will only tell you what goals that you are going to achieve. On the other hand, the OKRs does not only tell you what you want to achieve, it also teaches you how you want to achieve. The management by objectives are usually done annually OKRs are usually done either quarterly or within a lesser period of time, which is it can be monthly or weekly, not weekly, but at least monthly. Management pay objectives are between you and your manager, and they are very confidential. But on the other hand, the OKRs are also between you and your manager, but they are very much transparent. Right from the CEO to anyone in the organization, you can see the OKRs, and they are very much transparent. You can go and ask if your organization is following OKRs concept. You can ask your CEO's OKRs and what his OKRs are. So because the OKRs are transparent, it cannot link to the bonus achievement, and there is a risk in linking the OKRs to the bonus payments. On the other hand, management pay objectives can be linked, were only linked to the bonus payments. So OKRs formulas consists of usually 3 to 5 high-level objectives. And key result is how I'm going to get it done. It must include a way to achieve or measure our achievement. So let us apply this concept to a simple objective, which is something about how to make ourselves fitter. So my objective is make fitness a prime priority. The OKR 1 would be go to the gym 3 times a week, at least 3 times a week, and ensure. OKR 2 would be ensure your smartwatch reads minimum of 4,000 steps every day. OKR 3 could be no fast food for about next 3 months, for a period of at least minimum of next 3 months. So these can be different examples of what is your objective and what about and OKRs. Let us apply this concept to our Toastmasters fraternity. My objective could be, I want to become a better communicator for the next 6 months that I've paid for. And OKR 1 could be, I will give a prepared speech every month, no matter what happens. And I'm going to send my speech to my mentor a week in advance. And then I'll be taking key speaker if I'm not a speaker that week. I'll be evaluator role for that month's, at least months. OKR formula includes the management of objectives through actions and commitments. By using OKRs, we can achieve anything inside and outside of the Toastmasters. Thank you one and all. Take care. Hope you all follow the OKR concept from now on.
Thank you, Toastmaster Krishna Prasad, for the very informative session. Hopefully everyone has understood the concept of OKRs and how we can implement it in our daily lives. The final speech, prepared speech today will be brought to you by our very experienced Toastmaster Arun Kumar. He has been a Toastmaster since the year 2019. He's an embedded engineer, and he has also been the past president of Chennai Wordsmiths and also the past area director of B1. When asked about what does he feel about the theme of the day, he says that if we have the right mindset, we can approach any change. With a little bit of planning, we can go a long way to execute any change. I would like the general evaluator to call upon the evaluator for Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
Thank you very much. I'm going to call somebody. The minute we see this person, you have no choice but to change. It becomes inevitable. You embrace automatically the Zen mode. This is this lovely tall gentleman who believes being a Toastmasters has been a rewarding experience for him. And the opportunities with working on the contest team is even better. Interesting what he has truly embraced is through the CSR in his organization is working with the farmers, till money. So with that being said, if you don't learn, you don't earn. Inviting Toastmaster Chidambaram, the president of Wordsmiths, as the next evaluator.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Today, my target speaker, Toastmaster Arun, is going to present his speech on the level 4. The pathway is motivational strategies and the project is manage projects successfully. The purpose of this project is to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. And this is the first speech, and there will be a second speech after the execution of the plan. So the purpose of this first speech is for the member to give a short overview of what the plan is in terms of executing the project. I would like to wish all the best to my target speaker, Arun, and hand it over back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chidambaram, for reading out the objectives. So without any further ado, let's call upon Toastmaster Arun Kumar. Knock the door by Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
Zoom Master, can you have the sharing screen enabled?
Yes, you can try now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. So the timer, you can start now. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. And yes, you need to knock the door to know if the door opens or not. This is a project that came my way just because I just had to knock a door. I'll tell you how exactly. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, my dear friends, and the beautiful guests. The project is to create a new Toastmasters Club at College of Engineering, Guindy. And I didn't think that it was a plan. So it just started coming my way after a small conversation that I had. So there was this person called Venu Balakrishnan, whom I was talking to for a speechcraft program. Suddenly he called me and said, Arun, I just want to have a quick call. I have two friends of mine, or two colleagues whose kids are need to be sponsored, and I thought of getting them into Toastmasters. Do you have any Toastmasters club nearby Guindy? There were only few corporate clubs like Verizon clubs that were in Guindy. So I thought for a moment, and it was a Dimaki Bati Jalao moment, I thought, okay, why don't I think of asking him, why don't we start a club in CEG? That's how the conversation started. And then came in Jagan Fernando, who is also an industry advisory group head in TCS. So he was also a part of Alumni Association in CEG 96 batch, from CEG 96 batch. And I had Sumati ma'am, who is the professor at the college and the dean of College of Engineering. She came in as well. And then there was so much of discussion that happened among us, and we had a lot of things that was shared, and there was questions asked. We sat together in CEG campus, and then they were very happy with what Toastmasters has to offer. And Sridhar Ranganathan sir was also present in the meeting, where he explained what this Toastmasters can do to the youngsters. And that was the first session that we had with CEG management, and they were all happy. Now, the next step for me was to ensure that I need to form a proper plan, proper group that can help in creating this whole project. So I had Sridhar Ranganathan sir and myself being the sponsors, and we are in search of mentors. I'm talking to a couple of Toastmasters already in our club who's willing to be helping out in College of Engineering. I just need to get their consent. As soon as we get it, I'll be having 2 mentors from our club as well. So we have our first demo session that is planned on November 9th. It was actually planned on November 2nd, but because of the weather change is inevitable, and we have to embrace that change. So we are having our first demo meeting on November 9th. The timeline goes as follows. We had the first meeting with the dean on October, and then following by that, in November, we will have demo meeting. And then in December, we will have a chartering of this particular club. And following that, we will have all the things done in another 3 months and probably set in a full transition plan to the club itself. So that's the overall plan. And the budget is going to be handled by the Alumni Association. The key deliverable is a demo meeting, plus some kind of support as far as chartering is concerned. And the final milestones that we have is 1, to charter the club, 2nd, to have a fully transitional club at the end. Now, this is not going to be done just by one person, so I need definitely help from the total Toastmasters here at Chennai Wordsmiths. Please join the team and let's have a great club going forward. I'm sure you'll be there to support us. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun. Definitely, like Toastmaster Arun said, he has been planning this event for the past few weeks, and because of the rain, it had been cancelled. But I wish the very much success that he is due, and hopefully we'll be getting many more new applicants for the new club. So before we move on to the next section, which is the Toastmaster section, I would like everyone to give a warm round of applause for all the prepared speeches and the contestants. They have taught us how to be hardworking. They have also taught us how to be smart. They have taught us how to inculcate creative methodologies like OKRs. And finally, an informative session on how to create a change and start something from scratch. So let us continue the story which we were saying. After the athlete was injured, the next 1 year was filled with multiple surgeries, seizures, and tests. And finally, after more than 8 months, he was able to walk in a straight line. He was painfully aware of how far he had to go back to become the best player again. There are often times when many people are faced with depression and self-doubt. Often there are many restless nights filled with frustration, denial, and anger. But he accepted his shortcomings. He started with small steps, and that even a 1% improvement was better than being stuck down in one place. It took nearly 6 years for him to totally improve and become a whole person. But he was not the same broken individual, and he went on to become the captain of the team and was awarded with many honors, and even became one of the most influential and successful lifestyle coach. So what is the lesson that we learned here? Give it a little thought, and so let's move on to the next section, the table topic session. The table topic session will be brought to you by Toastmaster Babu Velineni. Toastmaster Babu Velineni is an IT professional. He has worked as a manager in many MNCs. He is an entrepreneur, and now he has turned into a business coach and a mentor, and helps in successful establishment of businesses. Over to you, Toastmaster Babu Velineni.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
If you are not changing to the current trend or the needs of a profession, career, or business, you are stopping your growth and becoming redundant. For the greater good for you and society, change is inevitable. Embrace it wholeheartedly. Now coming to the subject, why table topics? Table topics helps members practice the art of improvisation, and also helps us to think on the feet. This helps us deliver 4 vital communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and delivering. The topics I have prepared for you will help all of us become better at improvisation. Since we are Toastmasters, try and provide a speaking opportunity to maximum audience members. This session is not restricted just to members alone. Even the guests can participate. I hope everyone gives a shot. Being an online medium, I request to warn yourself by raising your hand, the hand symbol. Timer has already given the timing guidelines for the table topics, but I'm reiterating again. Table topic speaker should limit the speech to not more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, timer will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, timer will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, timer will raise the red card. Let's begin. Who will be the first volunteer? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Abraham Zakaria. what is the one thing you would like to change about the world? Can I repeat? What is the one thing you would most like to change about the world? So please unmute yourself.
You're on mute.
Yeah.
Right. Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guests. One thing I want to change right now is this unmuting and muting. That's a problem here. Apart from that, coming to the serious part of that, I understand the most important thing is all about the corruption. It is not confined to India. Don't be another impression that only India has the corruption and we are talking about that. There are other corruption in other countries also. Beyond developing countries, they also have the biggest problem. But only difference is they take the bribe or carried out at the highest level, not at the lowest level. Here, what happens at the lowest level, it happens. So we are under the impression that this happens only in India or in our place. No, this is a thing that we got to change, and we have to be the carriers of change. There's a saying, it says, it is not your opinion. You have to express, you have to show. That is very important. We can always say our opinion. I can also say everyone has to change, etc. But that's not a change. I must change. Whether I pay bribe to somebody else, even 1 rupee, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, even earlier it was railway stations or railways were the one we are paying bribes. Such things have come down. Anyway, whatever comes, the change has to come in the corruption, not only in India, but everywhere. Then the system come in place. The system is not coming in place for the reason that there is corruption. Some undeserving person might get benefit over us. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Toastmaster Abram Zakaria. That's a profound insight. Okay, this is the one where most of the countries are facing. I do agree on that. And any volunteers? Or else can I pick up randomly? I'm expecting someone to raise the hand.
Maybe
Naresh, Toastmaster Naresh.
Yeah, Babu. Hi.
Hi, Toastmaster. Hi.
Hello.
What did you learn recently that changed the way you live? I'm repeating again. What did you learn recently that changed the way you live?
Recently, I came across a book called Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Throughout, right from my childhood days, I was like I was a kind of modest. I was not so self-confident at all. But after reading that book, slowly, day by day, I could see some change in my life. That book had some great impact in my life. So that book doesn't, there is nothing like very complex topic that is dealing with. It is saying that a very basic topic that we have to believe in ourselves. We have to we have to understand ourselves, believe in ourselves. So believe in the process. That is the very basic thing, but we all forget about that. We are comparing with the others, we are lowering ourselves, we are not having enough confidence in ourselves. But slowly after reading that book, I developed some kind of confidence in myself. So I could, after getting some confidence, I could see the change in myself. I could see the way I approach the things. So the believing in myself and the confidence is all about the thing that have changed the way I live in my life. Thank you all.
Wow, right. It's profound. Like even I read the book Power of Subconscious Mind. It has so much value.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who's the next volunteer?
I think Arulmozhi had.
Arulmozhi wala. Okay, hello, madam. Hi, Arulmozhi. Can you hear me?
Toastmaster Arulmozhi, kindly unmute
yourself. if you could go back in time and change things, what would you change about the immediate past, the past, immediate past? I will repeat again. If you could go back in time and change things, what would you do change in the immediate past?
Good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guests. If I had the opportunity to go back and change something in time, I would go back to 2020 to change how the world hit Corona. I would try to eradicate the 3 years that we all lost due to Corona, the lives lost, the precious moments lost with family and friends. It has turned the table upside down for many people. Not only financial loss, but human life lost. How about the additional expenditures, the hospitalization bills, the healthcare issues post the trauma, everything that has hit us? If I can change, I would try to go find the coronavirus and maybe dig in a big well, put it inside and close it so that nobody ever had the opportunity to cross paths with it. In that way, I will ensure that all of us did not lose the 3 years and we would have had more productive time with our family, friends, careers, traveling, enjoying what we used to do and having a very fruitful life. If I had the power, I will go back to China and get that one virus which caused destruction in a way that cannot be explained. How many ever words that we say is all minuscule of what we've lost. I would wish to embrace this change. I know it's not possible, but truly it's one thing that the heart wants to do. Thank you so much.
Great. I too agree on this. It is post-Corona. It is AC or BC, before Corona or after Corona. That is the way it was now changed. I too totally agree with your performance. Who's the next one in the line? Anyone to volunteer?
Yeah, I want to try.
Yes, Toastmaster Krishna Prasad. What's a quick decision you once made that changed your life? I want to repeat. What's a quick decision you once made that changed your life?
Thank you, Toastmaster Babu, for giving me this topic. What is the change that once I made it quickly, that changed in my life? Till 2011, I was actually a mainframe operator. And 2013, one of my managers asked him to join one of the teams called technology audits. I was in confusion mode whether to join that team or not, because I'm not experienced in the team, and all my previous experience that deals with mainframe would go vanish. So I was not very much confident. Should I give it a try or should I withdraw? So I have finally taken a decision after analyzing pros and cons of it. So I've analyzed the pros related to it. This is the new area that everyone is exploring these days. And the second thing I thought was, if I join the team, I'll be definitely improving my communication skills, which are required if we have to go on top to the top positions. And the third thing that I've looked into is we will look into the work that I've done by the others rather than be performing the work that is the more challenging. So I would like the challenges, and I've decided that if we are going to take the decision which was offered to me, one of my managers, that will be fruitful. And it's been now 8 years that I've not, I'm not withdrawn or I've not had any problems with it. So that quick decision that I've took in my life is what I'm working for now. Thank you, Toastmaster, Tabletop Master, for giving me this topic.
Yes, Thank you, Krishna Prasad, for sharing your experience. Any volunteers? Timer, do we have timing to continue or you want to wrap up?
TT Master, just I want to try. Please give some simple topic.
Oh, okay, sir.
Table topics master, let's be the last topic as the evaluation session is to be starting soon.
Who are the two people in your life that inspire you? Why? I want to repeat. Who are the two people in your life that inspires you and why?
Yeah, good evening, table topic master, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. And my inspiring person is actually I am working in Hyundai Motor India. In our earlier I was in shop floor. In our shop floor there was one head of department. His name is Mr. Annarivan. The way he handles the people is he is a team leader for almost total shop floor. That is under his direction, around 600 plus people are working, including the technicians, and many people are reporting to them only. So that is a very critical situation since he has to handle more critical problems, even technician to management, employee relations problem also he needs to handle. We used to inspire the way how he handles the technician, how he handles the other people. So, to speak with the technician, he has to show some and the polite manner. To get a output from the management, he has to be some strict in the decision. So the both way he managed he used to manage the situation in both way, either in the critical situation by getting the work from the employee, and employee means operator level people, and getting the work from the staff. He used to handle the situation, and taking the decision also. He used to take the decision very correctly. And normally he used to tell that situation management is very important for the management staff. For example, in the line one problem is coming, so even though that can be adjusted in the upcoming session, so if only one problem is coming means that time we can reject that car or something, reject a part. If all parts are having the same problem means, if we can manage in the and in the next session means what he has to tell that. So that time we should not stop the line. We have to send all numbers to, and we have to put some additional manpower, and we have to manage in the next session. So what he has to, the main thing is situation management is very important. So we should not stand in the we should not stand in the same line all time. So like that, he's having many good examples he's having. So we used to inspire with his decision and way of working. So that's Mr. Annarivan. He is our inspiring person. So thank you for giving opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyagarajan. That's in every company we used to have this kind of experience. Our manager or the superior will be our role model. I agree with you, and thank you for sharing your experience. Timer, do you have a timing, or you want to wrap up?
No, I think this will be the last one because the evaluation will start tomorrow.
Right. Yes, got it. Any volunteers?
No, this one.
Okay, fine. Okay. So thank you. Thank you. I'm giving back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babu, for the wide array of topics that we were able to discuss today. And also, I'd like to congratulate the participants who have taken a small step towards becoming a better Toastmaster and effective communicators and embracing a new change. So finally, we move on to the most important and crucial part of today's meeting, the evaluation round. Now, this evaluation round will be done by our Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas and her team. Personally, I feel being evaluated by Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas and her team is an honor. She's an experienced Toastmaster, a social entrepreneur, and has a deep sense of social justice. She has an unquenchable spirit of learning. And when asked about her views on today's theme, she truly believes that one must always embrace a constant change, or else we should be ready to face a life full of discomfort. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas to provide a detailed analysis.
Thank you very much. If we don't embrace change, we can be prepared to be embarrassed. With that being said, I have the honor and the privilege, with all integrity and complete dedication, I would like to bring in this evaluation session. This is like the cornerstone for a Toastmasters meeting. It is very clearly stated, unless you have been a speech evaluator, you can't even be taking up a general evaluator's role. This is for all the guests who are there, and it's so heartwarming to see quite a number here. I have quickly, beautifully, I think, described our lovely evaluators. So, heavy is the head that bears the crown. I always say that. May I now invite our first evaluator Toastmaster Shashi Kumar, to evaluate Toastmaster Chaitanya's speech. Timer, kindly make sure and display the card, please. Thank you.
When hard work goes into a speech preparation, then a smart speech can be delivered. And that is what my target speaker, Toastmaster Chaitanya, has demonstrated today. There were many highlights in Toastmaster Chaitanya's speech, but I have picked 3 of it. Number 1 is voice modulation, and that is the purpose of the project as well. There were 3 characters what he has brought into the speech, like the lead Manoj and his manager Swami and his own character, and he has tried to play different voices for that role, really shown the efforts he has put behind the skill called voice modulation. It has really worked wonder, and he has changed the positions for 3 different characters. Again, that has brought a lot of reality to that role play. Number 2 highlight was his voice clarity. You have told, the Toastmaster Chaitanya has told that he was hitting some words per minute in his project, but I don't know about that. But here in this speech, his words per minute was appropriate. Because of that, the clarity was excellent. And he has got great voice also, which has actually gave a lot of credit to his overall clarity of the speech. Third highlight was the message. So we all have given our minutes to his speech. So he has honored it by coming out with a message saying that don't remain as a hard worker, change your hat and become a smart worker. And that message is a great takeaway for me and also for all the audience. Now all the highlights has been told, and we all know change is inevitable. And let's see what are the changes that the target speaker can embrace to make this speech or take this speech to the next level. Again, I want to come back to voice modulation, voice vocal variety. Just my advice is, for bringing your voice modulation skill, you don't really have to have 3 characters. Maybe you can bring voice modulation with emotions. Maybe at one point of time you were telling you want to hit 100 words per minute, but you are hitting only 15 words per minute. When you are disappointed, dejected, you can become slow, you can become low. And that's how voice modulation can bring emotions into the speech. And if you can hone that, it can become a great skill for you. Second thing was the body language, because this project also needs body language. I could not see your hands because your camera position was not positioned properly. Maybe you could have kept the position of the camera better. Maybe I could have seen the hands moving better than it was seen. So with that note, to all summarize the speech, you got a good voice modulation brought by 3 characters. Clarity was excellent, and you brought out the message. To improve upon, try to bring voice modulation to the emotions, and body language can be worked up better. Overall, it was a great speech. Looking forward for more such speeches. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shashi, for that very neatly and within the time completed evaluation. Now we will quickly move on to the second evaluator. IIT Toastmaster Arvind will now evaluate Toastmaster Krishna Prasad's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator, and good evening once again to my target speaker, Toastmaster Krishna Prasad, and to all the Toastmasters and guests gathered here. Toastmaster Krishna Prasad, what an informative speech about a topic which very few would have heard of, which gives a methodical way to achieve our goals by using OKR, objectives, and the key results of those. Since you spoke about OKR, I decided to construct my evaluation based on OKR. The overall OKR for me are the objectives of this project. The objectives of this project is to give a well-researched and a well-organized speech. And the cornerstone for a well-researched speech is to cite the sources from which you have taken. You have suggested a book as well as a talk by John Dewar. This gives an authenticity for the audience, and they can take your message as such. So that's very well done. And this topic is relatively unknown, and your research is also impeccable. So kudos to you for that. Now the objectives is done. Now let's move on to K, which is the key positives for the speech. You started the speech well by asking the question to the audience, and this has improved the audience engagement. So that's really well done. Also, towards the end of the speech, you cited a real life example. One example of being fit, and the other example is in the Toastmaster setting. So instead of diverting to a purely technical or a professional topic, you gave these real life examples so that the audience could clearly correlate what does this OKR mean, and and how can we use this OKR in our day-to-day life as well as in our professional life as well. So that's wonderfully done. This is a wonderful speech overall, but I recommend that you embrace the couple of changes that I'm going to suggest in order to make the speech a great speech. So that is recommendations. At the beginning, you asked the question and you expected the answer from the audience. And I think some 20 to 30 seconds there was wasted according to me. This actually had a butterfly effect towards the end of the speech, where you rushed the conclusion and you finished about, I think, around 7 minutes and 25 seconds. So instead of that, you can ask a question to the audience such that they can just show off their hands. You asked one question such that the audience could show off their hands. You could have stopped at that and you could have started your speech, the content of your speech. So I think that's a recommendation from my side. And another recommendation is, I noticed quite a few repetitive words in your speech. So you can reduce that by practicing your speech twice or thrice throughout the course of the week. So to summarize, you stuck to the objectives by giving a well-organized and a well-researched speech. You started the speech well by engaging the audience, and you gave real-life examples towards the end. To improve your speech, you can save time by asking relevant questions so that the audience can show off hands, and practice your speech so that the repetitive words can be reduced. That's it from my side, and over to Gentle Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Arvind, for that very keenly noted timing. And in the 30 seconds, what you mentioned, I think it's so vital for a good speech. Thank you for that. And now we come to the last prepared speech evaluator, none other than our very own President of Wordsmiths, Toastmaster Chidambaram, to evaluate his speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. The first thing is, today Toastmaster Arun had an objective to talk about a plan, how it is going to be executed. And the connection of the title with the plan was bingo. Even before he uttered a first word, I think it brought in the image of opportunity that is going to be knocking at the door, right? He just said knock at the door, but the opportunity that is being thrown at, that's being embraced by Arun was kind of already in our image, right? So that was a job well done. And the beauty of this is, like, he had to fit in a plan within 2 to 3 minutes, and the medium that he chose as a PowerPoint presentation was the right choice, which can kind of make sure that we had all the ingredients on the PowerPoint slides, and he can just touch upon the key aspects of it. And he made sure that the slides were light without much text. So that was a job very well done. As far as a plan is concerned, any plan requires a goal. What are the milestones to achieve the goal, and who are the members who are going to make that goal possible? I think all these ingredients were very well covered by Arun in his speech. And finally, he ended up with a call for action wherein he was asking members who are not yet part of the team also to join in and make this much more successful. So those were job well done. In terms of things that can make this much to elevated level, three things that I would like to suggest. One is maybe the time distribution between the slides. I felt the first slide had taken a lot of time on how the plan evolved. So in the subsequent slides on execution and how the milestones are derived, I think we had to kind of rush. So Arun, maybe that is something that you could look at. Secondly, on the slides, you can just run a spell check. There were few words which were spelled incorrectly, so that could be corrected. And when you bring such thing before audience, it will always make a better impact. And as far as a plan is concerned, one ingredient which can also be included is the risk mitigation, right? So what is the risk, and if there is anything that needs to be mitigated? So that component could be added to the plan to make it a wholesome one. So in summary, I felt starting with the title, how the contents were arranged through the medium of PowerPoint presentation, and the ingredients of how the plan is composed of and how it is going to be executed was very well covered. The items that can be improved upon are the time management and probably the spell checks and the risk management aspect of the planning. That will make it complete. With that, I hand it back to the General Development.
Thank you very much. Well, without any doubt, the two big wiggies making it out. Embracing change. Now I come with my battalion. We are the four of us. May I now call upon the tag team and just be a little sensitive towards time and make sure that we have a quick run of your observations, please. We will start with the timer. Can you kindly tell if there are any time disqualifications first?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Yes, we do have time disqualifications. Too many time disqualifications, I guess. Let me read out.
The timing.
Chaitanya took 5 minutes 30 seconds. Krishna Prasad took 7 minutes and 36 seconds. Arun Kumar 3 minutes 43 seconds. In table topic, Abraham took 1 minute 44 seconds. Naresh took 1 minute 7 seconds. Arun Mori took 1 minute 41 seconds. Krishna Prasad took 2 minutes 2 seconds. And Tyagarajan took 2 minutes 45 seconds. Coming to evaluation, Sasikumar took 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Aravind 3 minutes 10 seconds. Chidambaram 2 minutes 56 seconds. Yeah, over to the toast.
Thank you very much, Reshma. And a first timer, a round of applause for my awesome team, all first comers, all the first timers, and just be generous, okay? Perfect. Now we are moving on to our counter, Naresh. Would you like to share the screen, Naresh?
No, I have in my note.
Okay, fine. That's thank you.
So start off with Toastmaster Chaitanya. The repetitive word was well. He was using it 3 times and he had 1 pass. And Toastmaster Chidambaram was using the filler such as tries, and so he was using so very often, and like once. And he had 1 pass in his speech. And Arshad used and in throughout his speech. And going to Toastmaster Safi Kumar also using and ahs twice. And I was looking for any repetitive words or pass in the Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. Throughout his speech, I was very keen on that, but I couldn't find anything at all. No fillers, no ums. So I was amazed, man. So moving to Toastmaster Krishna Prasad, using 6 R's and was using so throughout his speech and have 2 passes in his speech. As were, so he was using it so generously. And Toastmaster Arun Kumar as well, there wasn't any fillers or any pass in his speech. And Aravind had 3 pass in his speech. And Toastmaster Babu used ask twice. And there wasn't any pass or repetitive words in Toastmaster Abraham. And Toastmaster Arunmuri used 3 R's, and guest Tyagarajan used 5 R's. So that's my report. Over to you, Jyoti Thomas.
Thank you very much. I don't have to look outside my family to find somebody to put the dagger. I've been watched very careful by my R counter. Final is the grammarian role. And I would like to very clearly state here that we often keep saying that the grammarian role is that of an English teacher. I beg to differ. It is a clear best practice to get better understand the language and its nuances. So let's try our best to drop using English teacher. Edwin, may I request you to kindly mute yourself? Thank you very much, please. Okay, now we have Toastmaster Arun Kumar as my grammarian.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Today, as grammarian, I had to spend a lot of time understanding the words that was used. Today, we had a lot of good usages, and some of them that I want to share today are Jyoti Thomas ma'am used man with voice, restless nights, shortcomings, 1% improvement. Sorry, that Arshad was using restless nights, shortcomings, 1% improvement, wide array, effective and unquenchable spirit of learning. I'm hearing an echo. Okay. From Chaitanya, we had a lot of good usages as well. Frowned, gasped, evil grim, transcribe feature, weak, dumbstruck. It was difficult for me to pronounce, but abracadabra, which is kind of a magical.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. It was a good usage for the appropriate usage. Kudos to you, Chaitanya, on using that word. And Krishna Prasad used OKRs, which is an acronym, objectives and key results. And we had Zaxer using carriers of change. You are to express, system come in place. I mean, he mentioned system come in place, which could have been used as system performs the best. That's one change. Naresh, no, nothing that I wrote about. And we had some other good usages like modest, impact, believe in ourselves, believe in process. And Arun Murray used some good words like trauma, crosspath, destruction, minuscule. And another usage that I want to correct was did not lose time, could have been had not lost time, because it was a past that we were referring to. That is a very critical situation, and we used to inspire could have been used as we used to get inspired by that individual. Very correctly can be changed to accurately. Problem is coming could have been if there is a problem. Do you have timing is something that was used during the speech, during the evaluations. Instead, we could have, do we have enough time for one more table topic or one more thing? And another good usage that I noted down was heavy is the head that bears the crown, from Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. And also we had some good usages like dejected, hone that skill, methodical, call for action, elevated, rush, risk mitigation, wholesome. So altogether, like we had great usages today, but there were many instances where I was able to see that like we could have used better English or better grammar. The more we go and watch our own videos, basically, we would be in a position to understand, okay, this is where I probably could have used a better word. Most of the time, what happens even to me is like we speak generally what comes to our mind, and probably the language that we are good at takes the domination, and we use it in a different way. But if we can just watch the video and correct ourselves, it becomes much more easier for us to not repeat the same mistakes. So that's one thing that I want to suggest. Since it's been recorded, go watch your video again to ensure that we don't repeat the mistakes that we did today. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Over to you.
Thank you. That was my brilliant tag team, and thank you very much for that. Now, quickly moving on to the crux of the entire meeting. I interestingly did do a lot of research, and I came up with a list of things that have to be noticed more than just being spelled out. So with that list, I'm going to quickly say what are my observations. Interestingly, I noticed on the Toastmasters senior websites and people who've been writing, start of the meeting, we were pretty much okay. Was business completely run smoothly and concisely? Yes, almost. We stuck to the agenda. The guests were well introduced, welcomed, and they were able to also say about themselves. Introductions by the Toastmaster, the guests, and the table topics master, the speech evaluators, was done meaningfully. And I noticed that it wasn't just a name being said. So I guess I can pat myself on the back too. Table topics, a very, very crucial and important part of any Toastmasters meeting that sort of determines your further journey as a speaker. It was well executed, and what I would have really liked to see is to be very conscious of time. As much as we can collect topics to be shared for the speakers, it's important, or my suggestion would be that the table topics master, whoever it be, should try and pre-book the slot. This is something which has been constantly put on our post and has been requested. Table topic master, kindly make sure whoever takes it on later on, that you call the non-role players, and to make it more comfortable for the guests to take part, it is important that we make sure the Toastmasters first speak and be very aware of guests and send a message on a direct chat. Speakers, that's the next point. I would like to quickly request that we need to have a speech details and the project objectives shared with the evaluators and on the group. There is a group, and I think that's very, very important we do that. Moving on to evaluators. Did the evaluators acknowledge, or rather will I say the ABC? Very clearly, all the evaluators acknowledged, told what can be better, and congratulated and concluded it. So that's a bingo point. I noticed the tone was very positive and encouraging and appropriate to all the levels of the speakers. Moving on to my tag team. Tag, it's very important. And I've already told for the table topic speaker, timer, first time. Naresh, first time. Arshad, first time. And Marian, all time. With that being said, it was clearly done. We were all very careful and supportive, which is very, very important. Coming to a point where I always think is important is, was the entire meeting enjoyable? Fun is different, but being enjoyable, it doesn't have to be like a sergeant major run one, but it's very, very important that everybody has this desire and aftertaste where people want to come back to our meetings. And that's a question I'm going to leave it open to all of you. What are my key observations which I truly would like to see scaling up on professionalism? This is not a place where I'm going to just make things feel good. I think honesty is the best policy here. Responding to every role player's message on the chat is crucial and important for professional communication. What are you trying to say? They have no time and you have very, very busy. So make sure that you at least use an emoticon or a quick message. It's very crucial. Either you do it in the morning or in the evening, but a response is absolutely a must. Every speaker should connect with the evaluator, and that should be posted up over here. For the VPE, constantly spamming literally both the WhatsApp group is rather painful, which means people are not giving things up. There should be a closure, as we have already discussed earlier, that we need to finish our duties by Thursday. Friday needs to stay quiet, and Saturday, complete Zen. That's very important. I do wish it's being taken care of. So let me end with a very interesting quote. Quote of the day: success is not final, failure is not fatal. All the observations that I've presented here is to encourage and continue. That is what that counts. The goal is not to be perfect by the end, but the goal is to be better tomorrow. We are as good as we are as of last evening. With that, I would like to end my observations, and I will be sending a detailed report as required by the Toastmasters International in the current books and the past books, and I will send it over to the person in charge. With that, thank you very much for this lovely evening. And if I may add just the last one bit, addressing Toastmasters. DTM Abraham Zachariah, he can be a best friend, but when he comes in a post of a speaker, a parliamentarian, a guest, kindly make note, it is very, very important. We do not use the first name. It is important to use the title earned at Toastmasters with the last name. If he permits you to say his first name, maybe you can, but I would beg to differ on that, to say it is important when you introduce or talk about anybody, use the title. Maybe the other Toastmasters, it's okay if we use the first name. It happens internationally, across globally. But when we have a guest speaker, an important person, it is only right that we show utmost respect to them. I have probably exceeded my time limit. I do apologize, but I thought this was very important because I noticed quite a number of us using the term very lackadaisically. So thank you very much. Over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you. Thank you, team. And the polls will now be posted.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for the very brief, detailed report that you have presented to us. I'd like everyone again to give a round warm applause to the General Evaluator and her team for providing a detailed, constructive feedback so that we can all embrace it and become a better speaker and a Toastmaster. The polls will be opened shortly. I would like everyone, both guests and the Toastmasters, to vote for the respective roles. So before we move on to the next session, we still have a few minutes, and I would like to come up and explain to you the reason why I came up with today's topic and today's theme. The reason I feel so connected with today's theme is because it is something that is related to us all. Life is a beautiful love story. It's filled with constant twists, plots, and it's also filled with all sorts of emotions. It's an ever-changing landscape which carries with it many challenges, some sweet and others not so sweet. Sometimes there are changes in our life, and also there are different perspectives of our life that aren't meant to be constant. Sometimes change may not be what you want, but sometimes change is exactly what we need it to be. It is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. So that is the reason why I feel that change is inevitable, and that is something we should all look forward to. I request everyone to go ahead with the polls and fill up the form.
I think we have not yet launched, right? Chaitanya, did you share the link already?
Yes, I'm able to add, not able to add one name specifically that we have discussed. That's what I've.
Okay, so
Go on with the session.
Let's move on.
Yeah, okay. So lastly and finally, we move on to an educational session. Now, this educational session is brought to us by our distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. Abraham Zachariah. Mr. Abraham Zachariah is the founding member of our very own Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmaster Club. He's the first Toastmaster in Tamil Nadu and also District 120. He was also the former division governor, and he has held many powerful positions such as the treasurer, president, VPE, VPM, and VP of Public Relations. He has also chartered 4 different clubs till date. He's a CA by profession, and he has been associated with many social organizations from the grassroots to the national level. His resume cannot describe the effort and love he has put into the success of Toastmasters. He has paved a path for all of us to follow, and he has also created a change that we should all be proud to embrace. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our DTM Abraham Zachariah.
Thank you. And let me share my slide. Right? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Visible, clear.
but I can change, same problem I have.
Can Chaitanya support, please?
Yes, 1 minute, I'll try.
What is that we did last time? Some echo.
I turned off mine.
Still I can change the, right, now one second. Yes, now I can, yeah. Okay. Wait, what is this? Again, same problem. Hello. Yeah.
So can you use your mouse and click on the slides properly?
Right, you're right. Super. Very
Change
good.
is inevitable.
Change is inevitable. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, I really like the introduction. I said, I'm a powerful, I held some powerful post. Please tell this to my wife. She thinks that I'm not doing anything here in Toastmasters. You can send a note through Jyoti. She will convey it to her. Friends, I have a good news and a bad news. Which one you want first? We have limited time.
Bad.
Bad news, yeah, obviously. Bad news. Parliamentary procedures are the worst subject you can ever study. It is worse than maths and history. And the good news is that to go up in the ladder of Toastmasters, you must know parliamentary procedure, especially you want to take up the role of the trio or district officer. And one more good thing I would like to say, parliamentary procedures are not confined to Toastmasters. This is very useful in a social forum or a company meeting where you can ask questions and you can present yourself, your ideas. You know how the business is transacted there. With this brief note, let me move on. What are the basic principles of parliamentary procedures? Majority rules. Majority decides. Minority has every right to ask questions, to know what is it. Although you may not agree, but you have every right. And members have the right. And members have the right to know what is happening, what happened. So because minutes have to be presented to the members. And you can ask only one question at a time. You cannot, otherwise it will be confusion. So you have to ask only one question at a time. And one person, one vote. Please note, in Toastmasters meeting, one person, one vote. There is one exception that I'll tell you later. Only members can present a note. If at all there is a proxy, which I'll come back to that, only when a proxy has to be a member. Changing action, whatever decision we have taken earlier, that can be changed. These are the basic principles of Toastmasters. Why there is this parliamentary procedures? To have the meeting held orderly, take decisions fairly and in good faith. Everyone should know, oh, they did in good faith. So no bias on this. Parliamentarian is advised to the presiding officer. And he usually is in the meeting, he sits behind the chairperson or the presiding official. And if the presiding officer has any doubts, he will ask him, or Somoto, he himself can say that this is to be corrected this way. With this, let me tell you a brief about the history of parliamentary procedures. I already said parliamentary procedures itself is a boring subject. History in that itself is another boring. Anyway, we have to know the basics. There are two types of parliamentary procedures. One is called Westminster. The other one is called Robert Rules of Order. Westminster is used in United Kingdom and Commonwealth nations, including India. We follow Westminster. Westminster has a problem when you know the UK, their constitution. It is a precedence, tradition, conventions. So in Toastmasters also, or in Westminster, it is only precedence, convention, sorry, in Westminster, it's the precedents, conventions, and traditions. However, there's one person, Eric May, he wrote a book on parliamentary procedures, but basically it is run by procedures. Even Indian Parliament also, we have written some books. But in case of Robert Rules, General Roberts, he wrote a book, and this is getting edited. Every time it is getting new editions. And today it is a 12th edition that we are following. And it is used by US and many other countries. Some of the basic definitions, let me share. One is called quorum. Quorum is the minimum members present to transact a business. Minimum members to transact a business. District Council, it is 1/3 of the club presidents and VPs. It is not the district officers, 1/3 of the club presidents and the VPs. District ExCom, majority of the members. Division Council, majority of the members. Area Council also, it is majority of the members. Club, majority of the active members. And majority of the active members. For want of time and other things, I could ask the questions. Well, why is this active members? Because one time, Wordsmith was having 84 members. And majority means 45, isn't it? 43, sorry, I'm an accountant, I mixed up something. Anyway, 43, you cannot get all the 43. So in Toastmasters, they say you can decide. The club has to decide that what is active, and you can define. They say those who attend 3 meetings regularly, or in 3 months they have attended 5 meetings. You can have your own definition and decide who is an active member. Otherwise, you can never ever have a business meeting. So that is why it's called active members. Even Wordsmiths also having it. Next, what is proxy? Proxy is the person who votes at the meeting on behalf of an eligible member. Proxy can vote, cannot speak. He has to be a member of the Toastmasters, and he can take the proxy card with him. Where there is a voting, he can vote, but he cannot speak. This applies only for district council when it is in physical meeting. No proxies are permitted during online meetings. And proxy has to be a paid member. And supposing there is a president of the club or vice VP, he is also an executive committee member. He can take 2 proxies and can have his own vote. So he can give 3 votes, 2 proxy votes and his own vote. That's why I said this is a very confusing thing. And coming to the notice and the agenda. District Council notice should go 4 weeks in advance, and agenda has to go 2 weeks in advance. For the club, 3 weeks and 1 week. And area also, but we can decide this. We as a club, we decide instead of 3 weeks, we can have it 1 week. We can have 4 days, that we can decide. That is one good thing. We have to change the bylaw. A club bylaw. Almost we don't, although we don't have any written club bylaw, in the minutes we have recorded all this. Then comes what is constitution, like Constitution of India. It's a mandate of a nation or an organization. The basic objectives and the basics cannot be expected to change. You are not supposed to change the basics. Toastmasters, it's all improving the communication skills. And we cannot have a drama club or something. But we need a bylaw. Bylaw is that can be changed. Because all these years we were having only physical meetings. We never ever thought of an online meeting. So suddenly we switched off to online meeting because we changed the bylaw. Now next international meeting is going to be in hybrid mode. That we never expected. These are changes made in the bylaw, not in the constitution. And contest rules, one time you could speak anything about the earlier speaker. Today you cannot talk about the earlier speaker, especially in humorous speech. All these are changes in the bylaw. Virtual meetings to hybrid meetings to physical meetings. These are all in the bylaws. In Toastmasters, there is another one called standing rules. Majority can alter it. Supposing you want to change the we say that our club is meeting on Saturday 4 to 6, right? So we want to change it. This is a standing rule that we are having it. Then we can, with the majority, we can change it. That is a standing rule. The who should preside? Of course, the president, elected president or elected VP or chairperson as any member as a chairperson as the to chair the meeting. So far I said something which probably you would have understood half of it, but next few things you may get confused. Don't worry. There are a few resolutions. These are the order in which it has to be presented, or you have to ask. There is a hierarchy. So this hierarchy has to be followed. There is something called the main motion or the resolution. To introduce a topic, you want to say, you want to change our club from the present place to another place. Say we want to change it to another hotel. So in the meeting, a member has to say, I propose. Then he gets up and says, the chairman has to recognize him. What we mean by recognize is that Toastmaster Arun Kumar, yes, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, you may say, the chairman will say. Then he can say. Then after he presents its resolution, somebody has to second it. Toastmaster, so and so, Krishna Prasad seconded it. Once it is adopted, it is a property of the members or the assembly, no longer with the person who proposed or seconded it. Then if there is a debate, of course, the proposer has to speak first, the other person can speak later. Then we have the voting. There are voting like voice votes, yeas and noes, or show of hands, standing up, or a sacred balance. Declaration of results could be majority or 2/3. Usually, the chairman doesn't vote. If it's a tie, it has to be the status quo. What was there will continue. Because if that stage, if the chairman votes, we know that what was his line. So to avoid that, usually he can vote if he wants, but usually we avoid it. That's even my suggestion also to any chairperson or the president. So there is another, I told you, these are some of the very confusing things. We have subsidiary motions. There are 7 subsidiary motions. Postpone a meeting. So if there is a meeting is going on, if the decision is going to, if a decision is taken, which is going to have a negative impact, or it may affect the main motion. Suppose if you want to change it to another place, and some of them feel that we may not get members there. So that is a main motion. We can have a subsidiary motion saying that we will avoid it. And if that motion is passed, this is going to be a division among the members. Now, such things, the postponing of the decision can be presented as a motion. Modifying words, like when you have a resolution, you can insert, strike out, all these we can do, edit it. Then in case of a motion, if there is a study has to be made, you can refer it to a committee. That also needs a motion. Majority has to decide that. Then for some reason, we have to postpone it for some time. Like we decided today, we thought of having it online, physical, then move to online. But there are sometimes you may have to have. So some decision might need some study, opening a bank account, or some technical issues could be there. During a meeting, if there is a length, somebody is going to debate for a longer time and speeches are longer, somebody can propose saying that to cut down the time or stop the meeting or postpone, adjourn the meeting or close the debate. That is also another motion. Then what is very important, lay on table or take from the table. This is a technical term. In case during the meeting, we invited a VIP to come and attend the meeting, and he has come in just during the meeting. Suddenly we had to stop it. So somebody has to propose saying that we lay on the meeting. That means we'll lay on the table. That means we stop there and the AP can take over and he can give a speech and everything. Here, 1 to 7 I wrote. Here it works the other way around. Highest order is 7 and the lowest order is 1. That's why I said, please don't get confused. These are the, it's not moving again. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, then we have 5 another motions. Privilege motions. Call for order of the day. During the meeting, if the chair changes the agenda, somebody can object to that. And privilege motion, if you are not heard, you can ask a question and you can say that I must be heard. Resist, that is, you want to break, you want to take a break, the lengthy meetings. Yes, somebody can say meeting is lengthy, we want a bio break or whatever it is, you can take. Or there's a power cut. Yes, you can say. You can imagine there's a power cut, we have to propose, somebody has to propose, we have to adjourn the meeting. And to adjourn the meeting when there is members are below the quorum, yes, that is also possible. And fix the next date and time of the next meeting. So these are some of the order in which it has to proceed. This is very, very, very important, the point of order. When there's a meeting, you think the meeting is not going in order, the agenda is taken up differently, or you are not being heard, and there is a remark which is very hurting to someone, you can raise something called point of order. You say point of order. So every meeting we say meeting is called to order, isn't it? Why we call to order means there is no other point of order. This is a meeting called to order. Then you can make an appeal, request for more information. You can suspend a law, extra time. You need extra time. And objection for a motion is presented. Dividing a motion into parts, like we say, we are going to have permanently to that one place, another place. No, we say we'll go for 6 months. So, or temporarily we are going to take place. Say we are not going to give advance. We'll only pay on time. You know, all this, the motion can be made it into divisions. Lengthy motions into paragraph. They are all very technical when it comes to a meeting. Division of assembly. That means it's only voting, the voice, or it can be a secret vote. So a motion can be reconsidered if it is hasty decision, ill-conceived, erroneous, and some other issues are there. We can always consider a motion passed can be changed. And rescind, cancelling a motion, unprecedented recent changes. We decided to have a meeting on this date, etc. But unfortunately, COVID, we couldn't have that. No, all this can be cancelled and other things. The point is that everything has to be noted. Everything has to be by a resolution. Everything has to be recorded. That is all about the parliamentary procedures. Okay, can you unmute and I'll ask you, you can ask questions now. And before that, I want to ask you a question. We all know we use the gavel, isn't it? Gavel.
Yes. Yes.
So gavel, how many times we can tap it? What are the occasions we have to tap it? To begin, how many times it has to be tapped?
Once.
Once, twice, thrice, that's the option. Okay. So to begin, we have to tap twice. Tuck, tuck. To close, we have to tap once. And when it is 3 times, all the members have to stand up. If continuously, if there's some confusion or issues in the meeting, the chairman will tap continuously. That means everyone has to stop fighting or talking and other things. It is in the Robert rules. Okay, I'll tell you one more thing. It was in, we were talking about the majority. Majority is more than 50%. In Toastmasters or in Robert Rules, there are 30 members present. And 12 of them abstained from voting. They didn't vote. Out of 7 favored and 5 opposed. Thus the motion can be taken as passed. Hope you got it. 30 members were present and only 12 abstained from voting, and 30 present and only 12 voted, 18 didn't vote. Out of that, 7 favored and 5 opposed.
Yeah, then it's a majority.
Pardon?
It should pass.
Yes, it's passed because it says that members can abstain from voting. So there is another way of doing it. See, I vote, I will not write the names. I'm giving you actually a technique. I vote, but I don't write the name. You say, I must tick or I must write name, Jyoti Thomas, Arun Kumar. I'm not writing. They are in the election. I'm not writing any names. I just vote. But they have to get 50, more than 50%. So in Toastmasters, we keep on voting unless you get more than 50%, we will not declare the result. But if it is only a change of place or something, it is only 50% or 1/3. But in case of an election, there are 2-3 people are there. The person who gets elected has to get more than 50%. This happens everywhere, even international also meeting, this happens. They keep on, there'll be vice president international, there'll be 4 or 5. They'll keep on voting. Then only you'll get elected. The person who gets more than 50% is only declared as elected. Whether chairman is eligible to participate in a debate? No, chairman shouldn't debate because he's a speaker. Chairman is allowed to introduce a motion. No, the members should present the motion, or if he is interested, he can ask the ExCom somebody to make a presentation, but not the chairperson. Okay, friends, this is it. And now you're welcome to ask me any question with a limited time. I can't see the time. Any issues with the time?
So just now the green card was reached.
It's green.
We have 9 more minutes.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Screen share is there, so it's difficult to have the other person share. Okay, may I quickly ask for a clarification detail?
Yes,
please?
you can ask.
Now
Quickly,
you
take
have
your own
explained
time.
everything. Okay, now everybody, you've explained everything and we understand what you've said.
You understood, I am very happy. When I need to understand the full thing. Okay, hey, I can't hear you. Hello?
No, ma'am, we can't hear you. It's not very clear.
Maybe you can type your question. We will.
No, I can't. Somebody can read it out to me. No, can't hear.
They can't hear you.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, welcome.
So one of the most difficult part being in ExCom is like to conduct this business meeting on a regular basis.
Yes.
But as far as your experience is concerned, what do you think is the good interval or like good frequency to conduct business meeting, and how much time should we put in for business meeting?
Yeah, our regular meetings, we cannot say these are our business meetings. So we have only 6 months time. So if we have every quarter, it is only 2 meetings. So preferably we have to have 1 meeting a month. That is my suggestion. We take only 10 minutes or 15 minutes, not more than that. So after the meeting, we excuse all the guests and we have to have a meeting. So one issue is that we may have a very embarrassing situation to excuse the guests because we will be serving tea or coffee or something. No, that small issue is there. Otherwise, this is the best way. Yeah. Yes, Jyoti, you can ask. No, still you are mute.
My clarification,
Yeah.
like most of any professional organizations, is there any time that you conduct a mock parliamentary session
Yeah.
where we get to view what is the process completely? Because seeing is believing. Yes, you have shared all this. This is very nice because I'm sure when we read through, you definitely need the documents. Is there something that we could really watch in action that you do? Do you do that as a practice?
Yes. Once we did it for CTM, we can do it here also.
Yeah,
I will
think
get
so.
the present parliamentarian or the former parliamentarian Sivraj, and some of them are there. With them, we can have a meeting. With the Wordsmith Club meeting, we can have in the present, so that if there is any issues, they can correct, or all of us can correct, right? We can have a meeting. Definitely plan for a meeting.
Now, additionally, now if the ExCom decides to have a meeting like that,
yeah,
will they? It cannot be within the given 2 hours or whatever, 2 or 3 hours that we do. So, is there any way that they can compromise in terms of the speech or the actual format of a Toastmasters format itself and do it? Is that okay?
Our regular meetings are regular meetings. We can extend half an hour, or we can cut half an hour or 1 hour. We can maybe 1 hour. We can have a demo meeting of the parliamentary procedures.
Okay.
1 hour. 1 hour is good enough.
Thank you.
1 hour plus some masala dosa. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, please?
You mentioned like when there is an when there's an election, the person should get 50% of the vote.
Yes.
But how does that convergence happen? I mean, have you seen any situation where this really played out, and what was the strategy to actually converge?
Yeah, see, there are 4 people are there. First time, no one is getting more than 50%. All of them are getting only 20%, 25% that way. Then the people getting the least will be removed.
Oh, it will be removed. Okay.
Removed. Then the next round. Even in international also it happens. Even clubs also, I think even Wordsmith also it's happened. That's what I remember vaguely. When a CTM, it didn't happen. Usually it happens. Yes. There are 2 reasons. One, no one understood. Secondly, everyone knows what is what.
Maybe for the new members, it would have been little difficult for them.
Very difficult. Even I find it difficult.
Yeah.
I was a parliamentarian and I read all this Robert rules, and I've been studying this for so many years because it's my passion, because it's all about law. That is why. Yeah.
One thing that I understood the first time that I understood about parliamentary procedure is like not everybody is so nice like our club members, probably accepting everything that ExCom says and like, okay, let's do it. And there are a lot of clubs where there are some people who question every decision made at ExCom. So they will keep asking you, why are you doing this way? I'm not happy with this. Why don't you tell me the decision did not involve me and stuff like that? And that's the exact reason why we have parliamentary procedures. If you are not happy with any decision that is taken by the ExCom and you do not believe in them, or you say that like I need to be little more heard and like I need to put in my thought process as well, this is exactly the session that we will have probably in ExCom to get your opinion. Probably you're not happy with any kind of things. I think this is the meeting that you would be talking about.
What I wanted to say, I don't said it. Hey, Jyoti, you are another device, huh? Okay, any other questions? Timer, I have seen the last is yellow. Okay, friends, if no other questions, I would like to say that there are only very few people interested to know more about parliamentary procedures in Toastmasters. And, very confusing, difficult. So welcome to join parliamentary procedures, parliamentarians club. So you get to know, and they are looking out for somebody to become a district parliamentarian.
What are the criteria for that?
You must
I
do
think
it.
right now I'm being open in a forum like this, and I think we have to spell it out, because somewhere are we looking at a lot of spokes in the wheel where somebody doesn't climb up the ladder, or what is the procedure?
No, the meeting, see, Arun was talking about the club meeting. Then we have the district meeting, they'll ask left, right, so many questions. So, and there are procedures. You cannot circumvent a procedure. That hierarchy you cannot circumvent. Then somebody can question you. So you must be aware of this. So that is why this parliamentarian sitting behind you and prompting you. This has to be done this way. He's not saying the answer. He is only telling you the procedure. I think it is red. The timer is showing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
for the
much.
wonderful
Thank
time.
you so much.
And please take up this very seriously. We can have another session, not for the members, those who are keenly interested. And obviously, we will have this demo meeting for the parliamentary procedure. You give me a time, 1 month time, we will plan it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll try to implement also. Fine, I think.
Chaitanya, everyone has given the polls.
Maybe as the result comes in, I just want to quote one example or one incident that happened in Mexico Club when I was a member. There was a transfer of a member from one another club to another club, and the club members were not ready, or they were not ready to accept him as a member. They thought that probably having him in our club will divide the unity that we have in club, and they even said that, okay, let's not take him, and that was a collective decision taken by the club members, and the club chose not to have him part of the club membership. So it's a very important thing is what I feel. So wherever necessary, the members have the right to open up and talk about it. So please do ask Zach sir any questions outside the club meeting also, because this is one of the most important things. It's your right to talk and ask questions as far as parliamentary procedure is concerned.
One thing I would like to say, usually when we admit a member, we request him to go out with the sergeant at arms, and the members will decide whether to take him or not.
Exactly.
If somebody is objecting, we may not take him. We will say sorry. But only after consensus, we will ask him to come to our meeting. Otherwise, it will be a very embarrassing situation. So that can be followed here and after. Probably that is a one take-home message for the session.
We will connect with you offline, because it's something interesting to know if you're part of Toastmasters, to know how the hierarchy by itself works and who's there what. Thank you very much, Mr. Zakir.
Actually, I have the results. So, if you're good, we can share.
Yeah, okay, sure. So finally, we move on to the certificate part, where the best speaker, best prepared speech, best evaluator, and the best role player and the best table topic speaker will be selected. So can we have the results?
Yeah.
Ashit, you can give control back to Chidambaram.
Yeah, sure. I think Chaitanya.
Yeah. Chaitanya, can you just allow me to share the screen?
I've enabled co-host access. You can try.
So we'll start with the best tag role player. The best tag role player for this meeting goes to Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
Thank you.
And we move on to the best evaluator, and it will be Toastmaster Shashi Kumar. All the best, sir. And Toastmaster Shashi Kumar is also representing our club in the division level. So all the best for the contest. Now, best role player, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas for the general evaluator role. Congratulations, ma'am. And finally, the best table topic speaker was to our DTM Abraham Zacharias.
Oh, thank you.
Those are the recognitions. We are running late for the agenda, so we'll try to wrap it up in few minutes. Sorry for the delay. We had few guests who had been there all through this meeting. I request guests who would like to share the feedback to provide your inputs. Manikantan, Tyagarajan, all the guests. Can you please share your inputs on how the session was? Did you have any feedback?
Yeah, good evening to all. So first of all, thank you for giving opportunity to attend this session and also to speak in the table topic session. The session was very good, but I was expecting the physical meeting this week, but unfortunately, so because of the climate condition, it was not happened. So hope the next meeting. I am expecting to attend direct meeting. So meeting was good. So people are motivating the speakers and everyone. So thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Tyagarajan. Any other guests would like to provide your feedback?
Yeah, Chidambaram, it's a great time, and it's a good opportunity to part of as a guest, and it will provide how to do a public speaking and giving the feedback to not to do the mistakes again, and it's a very motivating for the to increase the communication as well as to be the public speaking skills. So it's a great time. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Manikantan.
Thank you.
Yes, Uncle.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to understand the whole process to improve the public speaking. So I understand the overall process. Definitely, it will help us to know to go the next level, to correct our mistakes. And people are here supporting to correct the mistakes of people to improve the public speaking and grammar, everything. So it will be very nice. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to attend this session.
Thank you, Sanjay. Meena or Vidya, would you like to share your feedback?
Yeah, hello, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And the feedback which was given by the evaluators was, I'm greatly impressed by the feedback they given, almost it is almost all the feedbacks are positive in the positive way they it is given. So I'm looking forward this kind of environment to improve my skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Amina, would you like to provide your feedback?
It was an excellent session. I truly enjoyed every single minute of it. It was very informative and enjoyable at the same time. And even though it was my first time here, I can say that I've learned so many tips regarding public speaking in general. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of today's Toastmaster session.
Thank you, Amina. So with that, I have a few announcements to make before we close today's meeting. The first one is we have this ExCom election coming up in the next week, and I think it's a divine coincidence that we had the parliamentary session a week before. It really defines what our democracy is, right? So like I would really request all the members of the club, in case you have any questions on the XCOM elections, please do reach out to us, to me, or to Nitya or to Arun. Today is the last date for filing the nominations. So please, in case there's any questions, please do reach out and do exercise the opportunity to be part of the XCOM. And the second announcement is on the special meeting that we have tomorrow. It is organized on the theme of sustainability, and it is going to be in Wasted 360 Solutions in T Nagar between 10:30 to 12:15. So this is going to have the focus. This is going to be special because we're going to have a panel discussion, and the panel discussion is going to be moderated by our Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. So we have members who are who have a lot of say in this topic on sustainability, like Anne Andra, who is founder of Wasted 360 Solutions, Aisha Jamal, who is also part of this organization, and Toastmaster Arun, who has been kind of interacting with these members for quite some time in order to plan and execute this special meeting. So this is going to be providing a lot of insights, and if I request all the members to join in this. It is going to be a physical meeting, and also we are going to have an online link for the members who are not able to join in the physical location. So that will be shared in the group, so request members to join in. And lastly, we have the division contest coming up on the 20th, and we have shared the registration link for all the members who are either contestants, role players, or for members who want to join us. Audience, I request members, in case you have not yet registered, please do register for the division contest. So that concludes the announcements for this week, and also I take this opportunity to formally conclude the meeting 692 of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The good thing about online is we don't have to drive back home in a tough traffic, but the bad news is we won't have snacks today.
We have
Right.
samosa.
No, we have upgraded to a better version now. Not samosas. Now it's masala vade, some pakodas, also with some coupled with some drinks, which means lemon mint.
Sir, congratulations on 850th